to get it on a daily basis. Till they listen in the different places. If you hustling, you should relate. Just a young fly nigga getting up his weight. Trying to get it on a daily basis. Till they listen in different places. If you hustling, you should relate. Just a young fly nigga getting up his weight. Streets is grimy, gotta watch my.
There you go. There you go. I fixed it, gang. I fixed it, gang. Alright. We're gonna save that. That should be bigger. Okay. Bear with me. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start it. Because you know why? We good. We good, chat. Before I can react to anything, you see the name of the fucking. Apparently, there's a new documentary. Sick Roundup EDP off of The Predator. We haven't watched that trailer. See what it is. Now, see what else. I do what I got to do. Gotta make this a little bigger. Like what, like 400? 300? See. Okay, I did that. Alright, let's just say 600. 400. 600. 400. Save. Okay, just a little bit. 570. 350. Yup, we got it. Yeah, that's looking right. I can make it transparent. For me, once I make it transparent, we pretty much good, chat. I don't like the way the text is black right there. It's not going to be too visible. See? I'm catching everything. That is white. Little outline. Now we set, dog. You feel me? Just gonna copy this. Put it in this thing. Paste. Okay. I'm gonna test it one more time. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Alright, man.
How old before? And again, I have it right here. I know the answer, but I just need you to tell me the answer. How old is she? 13. 13, okay. And before we get into the messages, there was sexual content involved, yes or no? Right. And you said... Correct. Okay, all right. Again, so what brings you out here today? Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake. This is the story of EDP 445.
Like, he went to that place to have sex with a 13-year-old.
Definitely viewer discretion is advised. You know, dude's a perverted dude.
Damn, all the YouTubers in on this. He going down. Well, I don't know. Is he already went down?
EDP soliciting sex from who he thinks is an underage kid.
He sent me videos of him masturbating.
I would say EDP is completely innocent.
So what advice would I give to EDP 445? You need to stop doing this documentary.
Fucking a bitch's innocence away, you know?
Why do you think you wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old?
I mean, the reason why I wanted to have sex with a 13-year-old is already fucking clear. Oh, well, he was talking to 13 and 12-year-olds. Fuck all that. None of you fucking faggots can.
Let me pause this. 118 followers, 1,000 followers. Little small creators engaged. If you're serious about leveling up your channel, add more. Okay. I don't know. This is legit, Michael. How do I know this is legit? But if it is, but how do I know? I'm not gonna get hacked. Can you tell me how would I know that? If you can't answer them, I can't add them on Discord. So.
Break my ass because I'm still standing, bitch.
Well, hopefully that helps him go down, because with that child molestation and all that shit. Speaking of that.
Now the private messages revealed in the David, spelled D4VD case just gave us the clearest look yet at what was really going on between him and Celeste, because these were not just random conversations between him and Celeste. According to LAPD detective Corey Farrell, the messages show that Celeste became pregnant when she was only 13 years old, underwent an abortion, and continued discussing that pregnancy with David for months.
Bro, this guy's a murderer. He's a murderer. And it's all because she was pregnant.
Afterward, the court heard conversations about pregnancy scares, contraception, keeping their relationship secret, and the intense regret Celeste later expressed over the abortion. But the messages become even more significant when you look at the prosecution's theory of the case. Prosecutors of course allege that Celeste eventually threatened to expose that relationship and the alleged abuse, and that David had millions of dollars, his career, and potentially his freedom to lose if that information became public. Now that remains the prosecution's allegation. David has pleaded not guilty, and the defense had not yet cross-examined Detective Farrell about these messages when court ended for the day. But what we found out gave the public its clearest and most disturbing look yet at what prosecutors say what was happening between David and Celeste behind closed doors. So in this video, we're getting an actual look inside David's private messages and communication with Celeste. We're going through what they said about the pregnancy, the abortion, the secrecy surrounding their relationship, and the messages prosecutors believe may help explain a possible motive for her death. According to LAPD testimony, the conversations between David and Celeste indicated that Celeste became pregnant when she was just 13 years old, identified David as the father, and later discussed an abortion with him. The court also heard descriptions of child sexual abuse material investigators allegedly recovered from David's phone. But more specifically, prosecutors presented a series of text messages between David and Celeste discussing an abortion she said she had in January 2024. At the time, Celeste was only 13 years old, while David was 18 and would turn 19 in March of that year. The explicit messages were recovered from an iPhone seized during a search of David's Los Angeles home, while the text message conversations were obtained from his iCloud account. Investigators described finding a large connection of CSAM material allegedly involving Celeste, and prosecutors believe this evidence may help explain the motive behind the killing. They alleged that Celeste had threatened to expose the relationship and the alleged abuse, and that David killed her on April 23, 2025. Before that information could become public, prosecutors further claimed that he later dismembered her body with a chainsaw inside the garage of his home. David, whose legal name is David Anthony Burke, has denied the allegations and pleaded not guilty. Detective Corey Farrell then laid everything out for the court. Farrell, the prosecution's final witness at the preliminary hearing, read the messages out loud and described more than 3 dozen explicit images that he said documented David's alleged essay of Celeste when she was just 13 and 14 years old. Prosecutors said the images showed sexual acts taking place inside David's home, but they were considered too graphic to display publicly in court, which says a lot. Farrell also testified that one screenshot recovered from David's phone showed that his lock screen at one point was a photograph of him and Celeste embracing while both were naked from the waist up. Other photographs shown in court also revealed that Celeste had David tattooed in red ink on one of her fingers, and that detail is especially disturbing because it was one of the fingers later found amputated from her body. And during Farrell's description of one image that allegedly showed David penetrating Celeste, her mother, Mercedes Martinez, began crying in the courtroom. Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman, one of the prosecutors in the case, walked over to comfort her and told her, "I really think this is stuff you don't need to hear. I just think it's too much." Celeste's mother, Mercedes, then stood up and left the courtroom in tears, with Celeste's father, Jesus Rivas, walking out alongside her. Now,
I ain't gonna lie, I would have got that up. And you know,
the messages prosecutors presented stretched from November 2023 all the way to April 2025, and throughout those conversations, Celeste repeatedly told David that she was afraid she might be pregnant. The earliest messages shown in court came from late November 2023, right around the same period prosecutors alleged the sexual relationship between them first began. Celeste wrote that she was basically praying for her period to come because she refused to have children. David allegedly responded by asking whether she had missed the date she was expecting it. He then urged her to begin tracking her menstrual cycle through an app, writing, "I just need to make sure you're on top of your shit." Now at this point, Celeste was only 13 years old, yet the two of them were allegedly discussing missed periods, pregnancy scares, and closely monitoring when her cycle.
This is kind of disturbing. Oh yeah, it's right there.
The most annoying thing about being famous is that I got famous trying to promote my music, and then a lot of people that know me don't even know I make music. Like, how do you not know I Can Be What You Want Me to Be is my song? All the songs I post to are my songs. I only did this stuff to promote my music, and it is the most annoying thing ever when people come up to me outside and they like, "Oh, that's your song? Oh, you do music?" Oh, or they call me an influencer. Like, I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I'm not an influencer. Like, I only did this to promote my music.
Artist Adam Killer recently said that one of the most fresh.
This guy kind of looks like, what's that guy? From Atlanta.
Frustrating things about his career is that people know who he is, but they don't know the music. People recognize him in public. People know his content. People know his personality. But according to him, most of his of his songs. And if you're one of the 40% of people that follow this channel, then you already know just how much the music industry has been pushing you guys to be content creators in just the last 5 to 7 years or so. But I think we may have overcorrected, and Adam Killer may have just exposed one of the biggest mistakes that artists make when it comes to social media. Because a lot of artists think that if people know who they are, then the music will eventually win, and that's not always the case. Let me explain.
But before I do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because if we're going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about artists building the wrong audience, then I got to make sure we're not doing the same thing. So do your part, hit that button, and let's get back into the video. So for years, artists have been told that they need to be content creators. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard some version of post more, or your personality. Pick up your phone and make the content. Just build a brand. And while I do think that that was valuable advice, especially where social media was headed at the time, I do also think that we as an industry overcorrected. Because recently, I came across a clip from a music executive that perfectly describes exactly where we are.
Is personality more important than talent nowadays in music?
Absolutely.
Why do you think so?
You know, there's some influencers out there that simply their personality becomes more impactful than anything that they do. You probably know people that have zero talent but have a huge following. They can jump over cars, whatever it is. That's why they call it, you know, it was called American Idol before, but then they called it X Factor. And if you have that X, do you have the X Factor in you? That was really what it came from, but not everybody has it. And I know people that are very, very talented singing wise, but their career just never took off.
Now, when I first heard this, I didn't completely disagree, because personality really does matter when it comes to building a music career. I've said time and time again that people don't just connect with songs, they connect with people. They connect with who the artist is. And that's exactly why so many artists have started to treat content just as seriously as they treat the music. But here's the thing.
Hey, so although I don't like it, I'm gonna have to agree, because nowadays, you feel me, sadly, you can make the greatest music ever, unless you're like fucking Michael Jackson or some shit. You definitely gotta get into the content, and that's why I started streaming, started making more like videos and stuff like that, because you know you have to, and it's all part of the work. So if you feel me, that's how you weed out the weaklings, because some people are not willing to put in the work, and I'm not gonna lie, that was me. That's changing. You feel me? That's definitely changing, because you seeing it happen live action. But anyways, yeah.
That makes it interesting, because not all content is.
Oh yeah, this is what I meant to say. I kind of got off track thinking of other shit, but yeah, so.
Is created equally, especially when you're talking about growing views versus just getting people to your music. But make no mistake.
So yeah, thing is, you gotta have that X factor, and I think some people have it, some people don't, and there's some people that can get it. There's always a way to learn, to figure out how to make yourself more compatible to what you want. It just all depends on how bad you want it, because law of attraction is real, man. It's not just for things, it's actually for like anything, like, I mean, not just tangible things, I mean. So like, if you want to be a better YouTuber or a better musician or a better whatever, you have to keep applying yourself and actually like learning, not just doing shit, but like learning and taking time to really hone in on that craft, because you're not just gonna wake up and be a great musician. Although some people like get lucky as hell, like their first song ever blows up. Like there's a really famous song that it was like, I think it was his first song ever. Like crazy. This is before the internet, so it's like you gotta be a certain level of greatness. And when you hear the song, you don't know why. It went crazy. What was it called? Luther Vandross. Fantasy. That song. Let me see, what's it called? Never too much. That's what it's called. Yeah. So I know that was his first song, like ever released, and then shit, that's crazy, huh? That's crazy.
Mistake. None of this shit is real, man. We're all playing the game, and a lot of artists are playing the game incorrectly. As a matter of fact, another artist pointed out something that I think a lot of artists overlook when it comes to content.
That funny video that you made that went viral is not gonna help your music. Your music had nothing to do with it going viral. Therefore, nobody cares about your song. Learn the difference between viral content and content that converts. There's a time and a place for both of them, but you have to know the difference.
So that distinction is everything, and honestly, not knowing that distinction is where a lot of artists get caught up, because viral content and music converting content are not always the same thing. One gets attention, the other gets fans. One gets views, and the other gets listeners. And if an artist doesn't know the difference, then they can accidentally build an audience that knows who they are, but doesn't know the music. Or, even worse, an audience that thinks that they're just an influencer who so happens to make music, which is a...
See, so this is like the point of this video is like, avoid blowing your music up like a damn killer. The thing is, honestly, I didn't even know he made music, to be honest. And I think that's probably where, I wouldn't say where he fucked up, because I still found out who he was, but am I really going to like listen to his music? Not really. But I mean, if I liked it, I would. No, I'm hard to please. Anyways, I'm gonna have to agree with this, because it's like, I was trying to do like this e-commerce thing for a little bit, and it made me realize that everything is down to like a science. Like, you have to know, and honestly, there's no way to know other than from trial and error, unless you're like really fucking smart or some shit, but I doubt it either way. You gotta know what people like, what's gonna keep them watching and stop them from scrolling, and you feel me, like, what's gonna actually convert. When he's talking about content that converts, this dude right here, he's actually talking about like, what, like, did this video make me want to click on this and find out what song this is or what product. And then we in the realm of music, the product, you are the product, and your music is the product. Nowadays, since there's so much depending on like social media and content creation, it's like your content is now what is gonna bring people to your music. So you have to make sure that that content is geared literally towards like pulling in fans, not just like to go viral, but like what's gonna actually make these people, like, if they like my kind of music, go and actually download my song and like keep playing it, and then, you know, tell people about it, whatever. That's all down to how good your content is at converting. So it's complicated, man. It's hard being an artist. I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard.
Very scary thing for most artists, especially those of you who really just want to be artists for it first. And that actually brings me to another clip I found that I think perfectly describes the frustrations that many artists are feeling.
Nobody gives a shit about my music. Nobody gives a shit about your music. Nobody gives a shit about music right now. And I don't even blame them. I'm sick of seeing the promo on my feed. It's all I see all the time. To be fair, that is my niche, but...
Yeah, so I understand, like, honestly, although I'm kind of on the same boat, I'm gonna have to kind of agree. It kind of sucks. Like, nobody really wants to see it, but where I disagree, she's gonna be in a negative Nancy. I think there's obviously levels to this shit. Like, you know, you gotta get to a point where you're actually making good quality shit that people actually fuck with. And yeah, I do think people are kind of getting tired of, like, you know, the same repetitive, like everybody trying to like basically fucking be an artist and promote their music. I think that key to it is to really just keep trying things, not just keep doing the same thing, like keep trying new things, see what sticks. And don't give up right away either. You can't just try something once and then, oh, it didn't work, you're done. No, you gotta keep going, try things and do things different. Although it may feel like everything has been done, it hasn't. And there's always a way to make it unique and make it you. So, you know,
I'm like trying to approach it from...
It's not impossible. Don't let people talk you down on things and say things that it's not impossible.
Like, if I was a regular citizen and I was so sick of being advertised to every second on my phone all the time, what would I want to see? And the answer is, I don't fucking know. Every artist has those fucking fake fan accounts pretending to be fans of their own music and then posting their own stuff. And that worked for a little bit, now it doesn't anymore. Now everybody's making these spam accounts hoping that they can get new reach. And I'm so sick of tricking people into liking my music. I don't want to have to trick people. I want it to be genuine.
See, that's what you got it messed up. It's not about tricking people. Although that's why, you know, at some point I even thought like that, but no, it's not about tricking them. Because if you trick someone, that's not gonna necessarily make them a fan, right? It's just gonna make them maybe watch or listen to one song. But if you're actually genuinely connecting, that's something different. It's easier said than done, but yeah.
I want it to be authentic. But also, fuck, I need to pay my bills. Damn! What do you think? What do you want? What do you want from me?
So I think that every artist has probably felt that pressure at some point. The pressure to make content that people actually want to watch, or the pressure to package yourself in a way that is receivable by the audience, or just the pressure to compete with everything else that's fighting for people's attention. And eventually something starts to happen. Artists stop asking the question of what type of content grows my music, and they start to ask themselves what type of content actually gets me views. Now, before anyone misunderstands me, I'm not saying that artists shouldn't make content, right? Like, I'm not telling you to go dig yourself into a hole and suddenly be mysterious. As a matter of fact, I'm probably one of the most pro artist creator hybrid people that you'll see on the internet. But where I see this artist archetype consistently messing up is that they get to a point to where their non-music content is doing so well for them that they optimize for the attention and not for the thing that's actually building them a music fan base. Because it's no secret that social media has been one of the most powerful forces in modern artist marketing and is responsible for breaking so many artists that you guys know and love today. Take, for example, an artist like DDG, who was a very well-known content creator and YouTuber before he became equally as known as a music artist. But even an artist like DDG had doubts early in his career on whether or not YouTube was actually helping him to grow his music. Now, most artists, especially at that time, would have told him yes. Yes, the YouTube stuff is completely shitting on your music career. But when DDG asked Polo G whether or not he thought that YouTube was hurting his music career, Polo G offered a completely different perspective.
So how you feel about like me doing the YouTube shit and the rap shit? Do you feel like it's fucking up the rap shit?
No, because a lot of rappers ain't got multiple sources of income or multiple things that's just gonna drive you to them. They rap shit. Besides, like, you know, people got like love relationships and shit that. So that could be a thing or some drama going on. But you actually got a whole nother platform that can drive this to your rap shit. It makes sense.
Because I feel like niggas be hesitant to press play on my shit sometimes just because they know me from YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's definitely probably a thing though. I'm not gonna say that. That's not true.
That's what I'm saying. So if a nigga like a motherfucker come off of like Nickelodeon or some shit and he start dropping music, but the nigga hard as hell, you damn near not gonna press on his shit just because you know him from Nickelodeon.
No, I'm saying that can go either way though. It's gonna be people who hesitant to press on it because of whatever you was doing prior. But it's also gonna be people that's gonna click on it just to see if you got it. And then when you got it, motherfucker be impressed. Like, damn, this nigga actually spitting.
Now, overall, I completely agree with what Polo G is saying. I think that content creation has been one of the biggest blessings to independent artists that has ever come. Content creation can help you get seen. It can help you build another source of income on top of your music. And content absolutely can help the music. And for artists like Adam Killer, the problem is very rarely the content, and it's usually finding balance with the content. Because a lot of artists forget that content is supposed to be a bridge to the music, not a replacement for it. And after hearing Adam Killer speak about this, I started to look through his content and look through his different social media platforms, and what I found was very interesting. Now, if you go and look at Adam Killer socials, and I'm gonna do Instagram for the example, but you can see it on his TikTok and other platforms too, but you'll start to notice something almost immediately. He has a lot of personality content. He has a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like viral content. I mean, some of this stuff is getting like tens of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of views within just a matter of days. But if you dig deep enough, what you will see a lack of is music-centered content, right? Like, you could make the argument that this post of him performing at this festival is music-centered content. And you could make the argument that something like asking his fans to name 5 of his songs brings it all back to the music. But we don't see a lot of like mini music.
Well, I mean, I see this guy's videos sometimes, and I'm not gonna lie, he does, like, even though he doesn't necessarily like promote it, he almost 9 times out of 10 he's got a song playing in the background. So
music video content. We don't see a lot of performance platforms. We don't see a lot of clips of him just lip syncing to his music and promoting it that way. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that this is a bad thing because obviously it worked for him. It got my attention. It got a lot of other people's attention. I saw a post where he said that he's on track this year to doing, you know what I'm saying, tens of millions of streams across his whole catalog, which is something that he's never done in his career before. So it's working for him. It's getting him the attention that he wanted. And another artist could look at Adam Killer and say, hey, it worked because people know who he is. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, what do they know him for? Because that might not mean as much if you're someone that's trying to become an influencer where attention is the name of the game. But if you're trying to become a successful music artist and really build a sustainable music career, then attention is not the end goal. And that's exactly why I want you guys to see this clip right here because I think it matters so much.
We really like your TikToks and we're wondering if we could say hi.
Do you like my music?
I love your music.
Name 5 Adam Killer songs now.
I guess.
That's close. That's close enough.
I can be.
That's one.
Yeah. Well, I listened to it on repeat. Yeah. I listened to that 5 times the amount of any other song.
That counts.
Name 5 Adam Killer songs.
Come on. Come on. Let's start with 1.
Can I pass it real fast? Thank you.
Okay, so you've seen TikTok, right? When he does the thing, what does it say?
What does it say?
Yes. Okay, well, you need to pay better attention.
Now, I do want to make it be known that I think that Adam Killer is a genius when it comes to content promotion for a music artist. I mean, the way the guy's mind thinks and the way that he was able to flip a situation like this, which would have probably broken most artists into a viral piece of content, genius, man, genius. Can't even take that away from the guy. But as hilarious as that clip is, it's also kind of sad because it perfectly illustrates the difference between attention and fandom. Those people know Adam, they're familiar with him, they recognize him, but familiarity and fandom of the music are not the same thing. Now, I'm gonna be real for a sec because I do get where artists are coming from when they do start to over-optimize for this type of content. Your competition when it comes to getting attention on the internet is content creators and influencers and streamers, and these are often people where the best of them have mastered garnering attention. Even someone like myself has told artists for years that if you want to be a better content creator, you need to start studying what the content creators are doing. Because in all honesty, most artists suck at content, you know what I'm saying? I think we can all agree with that. And the average influencer is way better than the average artist when it comes to content creation. But the problem again is when you guys start to optimize for the same things that influencers optimize for. Because you guys wanted the followers, you wanted the views, you wanted the reach of these people, and so you start to create content that ultimately gets you the same results that they get. Like, I want to give you guys a hypothetical and tell you where I think most artists would go, but I want to hear your answers before I get into that, right? Let's say we had a situation where an artist posted 2 pieces of content. Content A got 1 million views, it got 10,000 likes, it got 500 comments, but it only pushed over 100 people to the music. Content B got 20,000 views, it got 400 likes, and it only got 15 comments, but let's say it pushed over 150 people to the music. Which of those pieces of content do you think most artists would say is successful and would actually try to replicate again? Now, my marketer brain says content B because it actually got people to the music, but because so many artists are view-driven and reach-driven and engagement-driven, they will absolutely say content A was the best piece. But over a longer period of time, the artist who optimizes for styles like content A will be sad at the type of audience they built up because their audience would really see them no differently than any other influencer on their timeline. Meanwhile, the artists who optimize for content B will have a much healthier, sustainable fan base that actually cares and likes their music. Now, overall, I do think that the best artists who know how to use social media have a healthy combination of content A and content B, and they know how to play the game either way. And I think that that's why artists like Connor Price understands and has more success with social media than the average artist. I mean, listen to the rule that this guy's given himself when it comes to creating content around his music.
There's this cool thing I learned about called the 80-20 rule, which is like 80% of the time do stuff you know that's working, and then 20% of the time experiment with something new. Because I would have just done skits. Skits are working. But every so often we're like, let's try something new. Let's try this globe idea that we don't think is going to work. And then that literally changed my life. So I think it's a combination of, generally speaking, if if you're an artist that's just trying to grow in the space, be as consistent as you can. A song every week might be too much now, maybe every 2 weeks. You really do have to make content if you're trying to be seen out there. Do stuff that you see work and try to put your own spin on it, and then 20% of the time do something just completely random, like whether it's live streaming, whether it's full-length music videos. Just be in people's, you know, eyes and ears and be as consistent as you can.
Not abandoning content, not suddenly becoming mysterious, not going too far into influencer lane, but just making sure that the content ultimately serves the music. Because content should be helping people and your potential fans discover the songs and not distract them from it. And I think that's the lesson that's hidden inside a Damn Killer's frustration. Because for years, artists have been told to just create content and optimize for general social media growth. And you guys have been lied to by people who tell you that if enough people know who you are, then eventually the music will figure itself out and will start to win. But artists like a Damn Killer might be one of the best modern examples of the fact that that isn't always true. And once again, I want to be clear that I'm not hating on bro. Like I said, I think that he's a genius content creator, and if I was his marketer, there are a few things that I would fix that I think would get him to the goal that he wants to get to. And the biggest one overall is just adding in more content that solely focuses on the music while still keeping the things that made people love you and like you in the first place. And I think that if he can find a genius idea to promote his music that only focuses on his music, then yeah, he'll get over this hill easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even see that being an issue. But what I want you guys to take away from this situation is that attention and fandom are not the same thing. Because if an artist forgets that, they might wake up one day with millions of views, thousands of viral memes, and a fan base of people that can't even name 5 songs from your catalog. But guys,
yep, that's good. Any of you artists, content creators, that was very informative. I mean, I learned something. No thanks. No AI, it was for me. Well, see you later, AI. I'm out. This was
I don't know what y'all think. Do you?
It's kind of shorter than it should have been, just because I'm hungry. So I'm about to go get some food. And yeah, the stream was more like a test, so I could see how everything looks. Because I remember like doing all this overlay stuff. I added all these little GIFs, whatever, however you fucking say it. And yeah, it looks clean, man. It looks very clean. Hey, what would happen? I'm about to do something tricky. What if I open my stream? 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 Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. What the fuck? Oh shit. What the fuck? Yo, wait. Yo, I gotta get rid of this. Yo, I gotta get rid of this. Yo, I gotta get rid of this. Good thing I came on this notice. 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 Good thing I... My bad, my bad. But yeah. These out.